Have you ever wondered why your legs are getting weaker, even though you still eat healthy? Try to stay active every day and follow all the advice you have been told. Why does a short flight of stairs leave you more tired than before? Why does it now take more effort just to stand up from a chair? Is it simply aging, or is something else silently draining the strength from your legs? The truth may surprise you. For years, we have been told that fruit is a healthy food, good for the heart, the immune system, and an essential part of a balanced diet. But here is something rarely mentioned. Not all fruits are good for older adults. Some types, even though they taste sweet, are juicy, and seem harmless, could actually be silently weakening your legs day by day. According to a report from Harvard Medical School, the changes in metabolism and circulation that happen with age make people over 60 more sensitive to sugar, acid, and certain compounds in food. This means the fruits that once helped you when you were younger may now be quietly damaging your circulation, muscles, and joints. And the most worrying part is this: you might be eating these fruits every day without even knowing the harm they are causing. But do not worry, because in today's video, I will help you recognize the problem before the damage becomes serious. Together, we will explore the 5 worst fruits that people over 60 should avoid if they want to keep their legs strong, steady, and flexible. Especially number 5, which may surprise you, because it is a fruit that almost everyone loves and believes is good for health. This story does not end with a list of what to avoid. I will also share better choices with you, fruits that can help fight inflammation, improve circulation, ease joint pain, and even restore muscle strength. If you have ever felt numbness in your legs at night, unexplained muscle tightness, or simply noticed that you are not as quick or steady as before, then this video is a wake-up call you should not miss. There is a way to reverse muscle loss, and everything you need to know is coming right up. Please stay with me until the end, because what you learn today could be the first step toward regaining your freedom with every step you take. 1. Pineapple, the hidden trigger of inflammation. Pineapple, with its sweet taste, refreshing aroma, and attractive yellow color, has long been praised as an anti-inflammatory fruit thanks to the well-known compound bromelain. But there is something few people realize. For older adults, pineapple can actually have the opposite effect, especially when eaten frequently. In 100 grams of fresh pineapple, there are about 10 grams of sugar, along with a relatively high level of natural acids. Biologically speaking, when sugar from pineapple enters the body, it quickly raises blood sugar levels. For older individuals, especially those with slow blood circulation or existing vascular issues, this sudden rise in sugar can damage the tiny blood vessels that supply the legs and feet. The result? Blood cannot deliver enough oxygen and nutrients to the muscle tissues in the legs. This leads to soreness when walking, swelling, and dull aching in the thighs after sitting for a long time or even after a short walk. These are the early signs of poor circulation and inflammation of the blood vessel lining. But it does not stop there. Pineapple also contains citric acid and bromelain, both of which can irritate joint tissues if the body is already suffering from chronic inflammation. For seniors with a history of joint pain, pineapple can feel like pouring fuel on the fire, increasing sensitivity and causing a heavy, sluggish feeling in the legs during movement. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition also emphasized that people over 60, especially those with weak digestion and fragile capillaries, are more easily affected by foods high in acid. In these cases, eating pineapple regularly can worsen inflammation, not immediately, but quietly, day by day. And if you are taking blood thinners, you need to be especially careful. Bromelain in pineapple can interfere with these medications, increasing the risk of bleeding or reducing their effectiveness. This is one of the main reasons why pineapple, despite being praised as an anti-inflammatory miracle, can become a health hazard for people over 60 who are on prescription medications. So, if you have ever felt heavier legs after a meal that included pineapple, or if you experience dull swelling pain in the knees and ankles, it may be time to reconsider this fruit in your daily diet. You do not need to completely eliminate it, but reducing how often you eat it and replacing it with gentler anti-inflammatory fruits like blueberries or papaya may help protect your legs from slowly becoming weaker. 2. Banana. A familiar fruit that may not be ideal for aging legs. Bananas have long been known as a healthy fruit, often praised as a good source of potassium and energy to support muscle function. However, for older adults, bananas are not always the ideal choice we once believed. In 100 grams of ripe banana, there are about 12 grams of natural sugar and nearly 23 grams of carbohydrates, most of which are fast-absorbing. This means that after eating a banana, blood sugar levels can rise rapidly. For younger people, insulin can regulate this process effectively. But for those over 60, when insulin function has declined, blood sugar is more likely to become unstable, which can seriously affect blood circulation, especially in the lower limbs. After a meal that includes banana, many older adults may notice their legs feel heavier, accompanied by tired calf muscles or a dull ache in the knee joints, especially during light activity such as walking or climbing stairs. This is not just a feeling of fullness, but a signal that small blood vessels and muscle tissues are being harmed by elevated blood sugar levels. In addition, bananas tend to hold water in the body. For individuals with heart conditions or those taking diuretic medications, eating bananas regularly may lead to water retention, causing swelling in the legs, mild puffiness around the ankles, and a stiff feeling in the legs when standing for long periods. A study from Tufts University found that consuming fast-absorbing carbohydrates in older adults is linked to reduced blood flow to the limbs, which weakens muscle strength and increases the risk of falling. The danger with bananas is that the effects do not happen immediately, but build up gradually over time. This makes it harder for people to realize that this seemingly harmless fruit could be weakening their legs day by day. If you still enjoy bananas and do not want to eliminate them completely from your diet, consider a few adjustments. Only eat a small amount, such as half a banana at a time. Pair the banana with healthy fats like a few walnuts, natural peanut butter, or a slice of cheese to slow down sugar absorption. Absolutely avoid eating bananas on an empty stomach because that will cause a stronger spike in blood sugar and negatively affect circulation in the legs. Bananas are not bad, but for older adults, they must be used wisely and appropriately. If you are looking for a fruit that is both nutritious and more supportive of muscle, bone, and circulatory health, consider replacing bananas with lower sugar, anti-inflammatory options such as papaya or berries. 3. Grapes. Small fruit, big impact on joints and circulation. Grapes are a beloved fruit thanks to their sweet flavor, ease of eating, and light, refreshing feel. With their small, juicy clusters, many people see grapes as an ideal snack, especially when looking to add antioxidants to their diet. However, for those over 60, grapes may bring subtle but significant effects on leg health, particularly on the joints and circulatory system. Grapes contain a large amount of fructose, a natural sugar that the body processes quickly through the liver. When a high amount of fructose is consumed, the liver cannot handle it all at once and begins converting the excess into fat and uric acid. This uric acid becomes a major risk factor for crystal buildup in the joints, especially in smaller joints like the toes, ankles, and knees. It is one of the primary causes of gout and recurring joint pain without clear injury. If you have ever felt a sudden sharp pain in your big toe at night, tightness in your calves, or a dull ache in your knees without any trauma, it may be due to elevated uric acid levels in your body from a diet rich in fructose, especially from fruits like grapes. Fructose also increases chronic inflammation in the body. When you eat grapes frequently, these inflammatory responses accumulate over time, affecting the connective tissues around your joints and reducing mobility. What makes grapes particularly risky is how easy it is to overeat them. They are small, soft, sweet, and do not make you feel full. In just a few minutes, you could eat 2 or 3 small cups without realizing you have consumed a large amount of sugar. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition reported that older adults who regularly eat fruits high in fructose, such as grapes, are at greater risk of joint problems, soft tissue inflammation, and reduced mobility. In contrast, fruits that are lower in sugar and rich in anti-inflammatory compounds, such as berries or cherries, have shown clear benefits for supporting circulation and easing arthritis symptoms. If you love the sweet and refreshing taste of grapes, there is no need to completely give them up, but eat them with awareness. Limit the quantity, avoid eating them daily, and do not use grapes as a full snack replacement. Instead, consider choosing fruits with a milder sweetness, higher fiber content, and stronger anti-inflammatory effects, such as blueberries, raspberries, or strawberries. 4. Watermelon, the sweet trap of hydration. Watermelon has long been associated with summer, refreshment, and quick hydration. With more than 90% water, many people believe it is the ideal fruit to rehydrate the body and keep the skin looking youthful. But few realize that behind this juicy appearance, watermelon can become a sweet trap that leaves your legs tired, aching, and gradually weakening over time, especially if you are over 60. Even though watermelon is low in calories, it has a very high glycemic index, GI, typically ranging from 76 to 80. This means that after eating watermelon, your blood sugar level will rise quickly and sharply, similar to what happens after eating candy. For younger people, insulin can manage this spike efficiently. But for older adults, whose ability to regulate blood sugar has declined, every sudden rise contributes to damage in the small blood vessels, particularly in the legs and feet. Have you ever felt tired legs after a light lunch that included a few slices of watermelon? Or felt slight swelling in the ankles and tightness in the knees when standing up after eating watermelon in the evening? These are not coincidences. The spike in blood sugar increases inflammation in areas with weaker circulation, especially in the calves, knees, and ankles. When blood sugar fluctuates dramatically, silent inflammation harms the capillary system and directly affects blood flow to muscle tissues. Another problem is that watermelon does not make you feel full. Because of this, it is easy to eat too much. One thin slice leads to another, and soon you have eaten 2 or 3 without realizing it. The total sugar content might equal that of an entire can of soda. Moreover, when watermelon is eaten after a meal, especially with starchy foods, its sugar content pushes insulin levels even higher, triggering unwanted effects like inflammation, dull joint pain, heaviness when walking, and fast fatigue when climbing stairs. A report from the American Clinical Nutrition Institute also warned that frequent consumption of high GI foods is a key cause of reduced insulin sensitivity, narrowing of peripheral blood vessels, and a higher risk of nighttime leg cramps in older adults. That is why watermelon, although it looks light and innocent, could be a hidden reason why your legs grow weaker over time. Of course, this does not mean you must completely remove watermelon from your diet, but eat it with mindfulness. Have a small portion after a full meal and never eat it on an empty stomach. Do not treat watermelon as a substitute for water, especially if you already feel leg fatigue, joint pain, or nighttime numbness. If you are looking for a fruit that is refreshing yet gentler on blood sugar, try ripe papaya or pear. These are milder and less likely to trigger inflammatory reactions. 5. Orange, a silent attack from natural sourness. Oranges are a symbol of health, immunity, and freshness. They appear on many breakfast tables, from a glass of orange juice in the morning to sweet slices in a fruit salad. However, for older adults, oranges are not always a safe choice for aging legs and joints. Behind their tangy sweetness and rich vitamin C content lies an often overlooked factor that deeply affects bone, joint, and circulatory health. That factor is citric acid. Citric acid is the natural component that gives oranges their sour taste. When you are young, the stomach and digestive system can handle this acid well. But after age 60, the stomach lining becomes more sensitive, and citric acid can begin to cause irritation. This does not only affect the stomach, but also has an impact on the bloodstream and soft tissues. When this acid enters the blood, it can increase the sensitivity of joint tissues, especially in those already suffering from arthritis or joint degeneration. As a result, you may feel stiffness in the knees in the morning, soreness in the thighs while walking, or sharp pain in the hips after sitting for a long time. Oranges also contain a relatively high amount of natural sugar, about 9 grams per 100 milliliters of juice. When combined with citric acid, the sugar causes a rapid increase in blood glucose levels, followed by a sudden drop. For older adults, this creates the perfect environment for inflammation to occur, reducing blood flow to the legs and weakening the circulatory system. The aches and stiffness in your legs during walking or nighttime cramps may be rooted in these micro-level changes. A study from the American Clinical Nutrition Institute also found that older adults who consume acidic foods frequently are at higher risk of connective tissue inflammation around joints and lower bone density. This is particularly concerning for those with a history of osteoporosis, sciatica, or weak hip joints. In fact, drinking orange juice every morning for years may be one hidden reason behind reduced mobility that goes unnoticed. So how can you still enjoy the benefits of oranges without harming your legs? First, avoid boxed or canned orange juice, as it often contains added sugar and preservatives that make inflammation worse. Second, if you want to eat oranges, eat whole slices to benefit from the fiber and only eat them in the morning after a meal. Never drink orange juice on an empty stomach or right before bedtime. If you are already experiencing unexplained leg pain or stiffness in your knees each morning, it may be time to consider switching to more alkaline fruits like pears or ripe papaya. Take a moment to reflect. Your legs have carried you through so many journeys in life, from your very first steps, those carefree afternoons playing with friends, to the moments when you stood strong during life's hardest times. And yet now, sometimes even a short staircase leaves you breathless. A brief walk can make your legs feel heavy, tired, and even painful. We often believe this is simply due to aging, but as you have seen, not every cause comes from growing older. Some things that seem harmless, even considered healthy, are quietly weakening your legs day by day. The 5 fruits you have just learned about are very common, and you may have been eating them every week without realizing the impact they have on your circulation, joints, and muscles. The good news is this: it is not too late to make a change. Your body still has the ability to heal when given the right care, and that does not require big or strict changes. Just start with small steps, like a smarter snack or a gentler choice at mealtime. That alone can put you on the path to regaining strength in your legs. Instead of choosing watermelon for an afternoon snack, try a few blueberries. Instead of eating a banana after breakfast, go for a slice of soft, mild papaya. These may sound like small changes, but if you stay consistent, they can make a big difference. Your legs will feel lighter, stronger, and more flexible. Standing up from a chair will no longer feel like a challenge. Each step you take will feel more confident and stable, and you will start to regain the freedom that comes with every movement. If you have made it to this point, it tells me that you truly care about your own health. And I want to tell you this: you are not alone. There are millions of older adults out there searching for the same answers you are. Share one thing you have learned today, and if there is one small change you are ready to make, write it down. I am always here to listen to your health journey. Wishing you good health, peace, and the strength to take back control of what you are facing. I look forward to seeing you in the next videos. If you found today's message helpful, please remember to like and subscribe so you do not miss upcoming content. Are you currently eating any of the fruits mentioned in this list? Leave a comment below and share with me. Together, we will continue the journey to restoring strength in your legs, starting with the simple choices you make each day.